The bugs had a meeting by an old chestnut tree.
Why don't humans like us?
Said an angry young bee.
Well,
Said the beetle.
everyone knows. Sometimes moths eat people's clothes.
Excuse me.
Said the moth.
Some beetles eat wood. They eat doors and furniture. That isn't good. People don't like my legs.
Said the spider.
They're hairy. I don't know why, but humans think that we're scary. Flies annoy people.
Said the spider.
Here's how. They make a lot of noise. They're making noise now. Spiders are quiet. I'm not telling lies. And we help humans because we catch flies.
Poor fly.
Said the centipede.
Oh no, don't cry. We're all food for animals. It isn't just fly. Birds and bats, fish and frogs eat me and you. We're an important part of the food chain, it's true.
And I know
Said the bee.
sometimes we sting. It's for our protection. It's a natural thing. But bees are working in hives as we speak. They're making honey for humans to eat.
Hey,
Said the worm.
I'm ugly and thin, but when I move through the soil, air and water get in. I'm useful. I want those big humans to know that I help all their plants and their flowers to grow.
Let's tell the world.
Shouted the ants.
We're important to animals, humans, and plants.
Yes.
Said the snail. The grasshopper agreed. So they all wrote this poem for people to read.
Today, I had the most adventurous day of my life.
Wow. What happened, Freddie?
Well, it all started in the morning.
I've finished, Grandma.
Thank you, Nathan. Here's $5. Keep it safe.
Oh,
But it was a very windy day. Wowzers! This is more exciting than Grandma's purse. Unfortunately, I landed in a puddle. Whoa! Whoa! It was the most terrifying moment of the day. But the dog took me to a man called Ian.
What do you have there, Sweep? Wow! A $5 bill!
Well, I am more intelligent than other dogs. Ian wanted an ice cream.
Now I can have the most expensive ice cream. It's delicious.
The ice cream man put me in his pocket. But then, a thief saw me.
Stop! Thief!
The thief dropped me. And then the most surprising thing happened. Oh no, the police.
my
$5 bill. Great!
And so now I'm safe in Nathan's coin box with you.
Many years ago, there was an ancient city named Troy. Troy was on the coast of Asia, across the sea from the Greek city Sparta. For 10 long years, there was a war between the people of Troy, the Trojans, and the Greeks. The Trojans built a very high wall around their city to protect it. They built gates into the walls, and they closed and locked them. The Greeks wanted to enter the city of Troy, but they couldn't. The walls were made of stone, and the gates were made of iron, so the city was safe. The Trojans wanted the Greeks to leave, but they didn't. Year after year, the Greeks and the Trojans fought. But year after year, neither the Greeks nor the Trojans won the war. Then one day, a Greek general named Odysseus had an idea. The best Greek artists built an enormous horse. The horse was made of wood, and it was very beautiful. The Greeks left the horse outside the walls of Troy. Then they sailed away in their ships. When the Trojan soldiers saw the wooden horse, they were surprised. Look, it's a horse. It's made of wood. They thought it was a present from the Greeks. They saw that the Greek ships weren't in the harbor, and they were very happy. "We won the war," they said, and they took the horse into their city. That night, the Trojans had a big party. But when the Trojans were asleep, 30 Greeks came out of the wooden horse and opened the gates of Troy. The Greek ships weren't across the sea in Sparta. They were on the coast near Troy. When the gates opened, the Greek soldiers ran into the city and destroyed it. So the Greeks, not the Trojans, won the war. One Christmas Eve, Ebenezer Scrooge was in his office with his office worker, Bob Cratchit. It was very cold, but Scrooge was a stingy old man, and he didn't want to buy coal for the fire. Scrooge was counting his money when his nephew, Fred, came in. Fred invited Scrooge to a Christmas party, but Scrooge didn't want to go. Scrooge hated Christmas. Bah humbug! That night, Scrooge was sitting in his armchair at home when he saw a ghost. The ghost was Jacob Marley, Scrooge's old business partner. The ghost said, "Don't be so stingy, Ebenezer. I was stingy like you, and now I am unhappy." Scrooge fell asleep in his armchair. He was sleeping when another ghost woke him up. "I am the ghost of Christmas past," said the ghost. the ghost showed Scrooge his past. He showed him his first job with his generous boss, Fezziwig. He showed him his fiancée, Belle, who left Scrooge because he loved money too much. Afterwards, Scrooge felt very sad. He was crying when the next ghost arrived. I am the ghost of Christmas present, said the ghost. The ghost showed Scrooge Christmas Day at Bob Cratchit's house. Scrooge saw that Mr. and Mrs. Cratchit were very poor, and their youngest son, Tiny Tim, was very sick. The ghost showed Scrooge the party at Fred's house, too. It was fun, and Scrooge wanted to stay, but he couldn't. Scrooge had one more visitor. He was the ghost of future Christmases. He showed Scrooge his grave. People were happy when stingy old Scrooge was dead. The next morning, Scrooge bought an enormous Christmas turkey for the Cratchit family, and he gave Bob Cratchit more money. Huh? Then he went to Fred's party. After the visits from the ghosts, Scrooge changed. He was sociable and cheerful, and he was never stingy again.
In November 2008, Jan and Dave Griffith were on a yachting trip with their dog, Sophie Tucker. They were off the coast of Queensland, Australia, when there was a big storm, and Sophie Tucker fell off the yacht into the sea. At first, Jan and Dave hoped to find their dog. They looked for her for an hour, but the weather was very bad and they couldn't see her. Finally, they decided to continue their journey. They were very sad because they thought their pet was dead. But Sophie Tucker wasn't dead. She managed to swim to St. Bees Island. This was incredible because it was more than 5 miles to the island, and there were a lot of sharks in the sea. St. Bees Island has rainforests and grasslands, and not many people. When some local people saw Sophie Tucker, they thought she was a wild dog. She looked very thin and sick, and she didn't want to take food from people. But Sophie Tucker wanted to survive. She learned to hunt koalas and baby goats on the island. Soon she was strong and healthy again. Jan and Dave heard about the dog on the island, but they didn't think the dog was Sophie Tucker. Sophie Tucker lived on the island for 4 months. Then, one day, local people found some dead goats. They told the wildlife rangers to come to the island, and they asked them to catch the dog. The people helped the rangers find Sophie Tucker. The rangers took the dog to the mainland by boat. They invited Jan and Dave to come to the port to check. When Jan and Dave saw the black and gray dog on the boat, they couldn't believe it. It was Sophie Tucker. They called their dog and she ran to them. She was very excited to see Jan and Dave, and they were very happy to have their pet again. Sophie Tucker's incredible adventure was over.
Our reporter has traveled to Cornwall to say happy birthday to the WEEE Man.
The WEEE Man is a sculpture. He's called the WEEE Man because he's made of old machines people don't want, or WEEE, waste, electrical and electronic equipment. In 2004, the Royal Society of Arts, RSA, wanted to teach people about WEEE. They wanted to show how much electrical equipment people waste in their lifetime. They decided to build a sculpture, and they asked an artist called Paul Bonamini to design it. Paul created an enormous robot, and in April 2005, British people saw the WEEE Man for the first time. The sculpture is 7 meters tall, and it weighs 3.3 tons. This is the same amount of WEEE the average British person throws away in their lifetime. The average person throws away 5 fridges, 3 washing machines, 8 toasters, 8 irons, 35 cell phones, 8 computers, 4 keyboards, 23 keyboard mice, and 6 TVs. First, the WEEE Man stood outside City Hall in London, but he's now at the Eden Project in Cornwall. Today is his birthday. A lot of people come to see the sculpture every year. I've come to see the WEEE Man because we've just done a project about recycling at school, says schoolboy Jack Taylor. I made a model of a wee boy. I used food cans. His schoolmate Tara Smith adds, I haven't made a model, but I've painted a picture of the WEEE Man. I think he's really cool. I've visited the WEEE Man lots of times, says Mary McGee from Oxford. I've just taken lots of photographs to show my grandkids. The WEEE Man is very important because it has taught people about recycling. Her husband, Bob McGee, adds, I've just thrown away an old radio, but now I've seen the WEEE Man, I understand that we shouldn't waste so much. That's right. Thank you, WEEE Man. We've learned a lot from you.
Day 1. Dear Alex, I'm writing my diary because I promised to write it for you every day. I've just arrived in Canada, and I'm going to travel to the Arctic tomorrow. Hurrah! I've been to tropical jungles and mountainous deserts, but I've never been to the Arctic. You're very excited, Uncle Greg. Day 2. I'm here. At the moment, I'm at Polar Bear Lodge. We flew here by helicopter over the Churchill River, and I saw seals and a wolf. There are 9 people on the tour, and our guide's name is Felix. I hope you are working hard at school. Day 3. Something terrible has happened. Today we went on an expedition in the snow buggy. we were going to the Arctic Sea. When Felix asked me, "Have you ever seen an Arctic hare?" "No, I haven't," I said. He told us he could see some hares, so we got out of the buggy to watch them. One hare ran behind some trees, and I followed it because I wanted to take a photo. But when I came back, the group and Felix weren't there. Now I'm sitting on my backpack in the snow, all alone. Have you ever been lost? It's a horrible feeling. I'm going to wait here for Felix and the group. I hope they come soon. P.S. I didn't even get a photograph of that hare. Still day 3. Oh dear. Where are Felix and the group? It's very cold. I've never been this cold before. I'm in my tent now, but it's very windy. In fact, it's very, very, very windy. Still day 3, but nearly day 4. Sorry about that. My tent blew away. Have you ever dug a snow shelter? I have. I'm in it now. I'm glad I read that Arctic survival guide before I came here. I've put some branches on the floor, and I've lit a candle. Outside, it's minus 50 degrees, but it's very cozy in here. What an adventure! Day 4. I woke up very early and lit a fire outside my snow shelter. I was making a cup of tea when I heard a noise. It was Felix in the snow buggy. He saw the smoke from my fire and came to rescue me. He couldn't return yesterday because the snow buggy broke down, and then the storm began. Now I'm back at Polar Bear Lodge, and I'm safe. Phew. More adventures tomorrow.
4,000 years ago, there was a town called Legia in northwest China.
This is a good harvest. There's a lot of millet this year.
Yes, we have enough food for all the people of Legia.
The people of Legia made flour with the millet. Then they made noodles from the flour.
Oh. Yum! Delicious noodles, Jun. Thank you.
You eat too many noodles, Lee. You're getting fat.
Suddenly, the earth began to move. It was a terrible earthquake.
Quick, Lee, run! There isn't enough time to finish your noodles.
Then the Yellow River burst its banks.
Whoa! There's too much water. Let's climb on the roof.
The world's oldest noodles.
Report by J.J. Journalist. Aston Daily News, October 14th, 2005. A team of archaeologists have found a bowl of 50-centimeter-long yellow noodles under the ground in northwest China. They believe the noodles are about 4,000 years old. The team also found skeletons of people in this area. We believe there was a big earthquake, and the people were trying to run away, Professor Wang told reporters. One of these people was probably eating noodles when the disaster happened. Professor Wang, age 42, from Shanghai, China, believes these noodles are made from millet flour and not wheat flour like modern noodles. The discovery is very exciting for the people of China, he said. Before we found these 4,000-year-old noodles, nobody knew which country invented noodles. Now we know the truth. Noodles are Chinese.
Scene 1. On stage at the theater. The actors are on stage. Enter the director, holding a cell phone.
And there wasn't a cop backstage.
Stop, everyone! The prince is coming! He's the owner of this theater, and he has a special prize for one of us.
Who is the prize for,
Mr.
Director?
I don't know, but I can guess. I'm an excellent director, and I get fantastic reviews in the newspaper.
The prize isn't for you. It's for me. I'm famous all over the world.
You're famous for wearing Grandma's nightgown, Wolf, and children are scared of you. Children love me. The prize is mine.
Don't be silly, Sleeping Beauty. You're the laziest actor in this theater.
You're only interested in sleeping. We dance all night at the palace.
And who makes your dancing shoes, sisters? We do. We work all night. We're good at making costumes.
Oh, I'm tired of listening to you all. The prize is mine, because I'm the most beautiful in the land.
Sorry, but you're not the most beautiful. Goldilocks is more beautiful.
Goldilocks? I'm very angry with her. She ate my porridge again. And I'm sad about my broken chair.
Wait! Can you hear that? It's the prince!
Scene 2. Backstage at the theater.
I was very excited about coming to the theater.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Shh, Cinderella.
The prize is for a very special person
who is always friendly to people. This person helps the cast when they're worried about going on stage or bored with learning their lines. This person listens to the director when he's sad about getting a bad review. And the theater is always nice and clean because of this person. Yes, this special prize is for the one and only Cinderella.
Oh, thank you. Wow! It's a magic lamp.